Here are your hosts, Jonfern and Vargy.
Welcome, pussy lickers, to the Boom Boom Room Podcast. I'm your host, Jonfern, and this is Vargy.
Ooh, that was good.
Welcome to week 3 of fantasy. Week 2 was crazy. Week 2 was filled with comebacks. It was filled with heartbreak. It was filled with explosive fantasy performances. Michael, 8 guys scored over 40 points.
Impressive. If you had any of those guys on your team, chances are you won.
Except for Taco.
Taco,
The top scoring guy of the week, scored 59.5 points on his bench.
he almost dropped a 60-piece, and that doesn't happen. That happens like twice every season. On your fucking bench, on your bench.
Today,
because you're loyal to DC4.
We got a jam-packed episode today. We're going to cover the NFL matchup recaps. We're going to cover up the injury news. We're going to recap our fantasy matchups we just had this week over week 2. And we're going to announce our Alpha of the Week. We got a special announcement for the Alpha of the Week. Yeah. Waiver wire recap. And then we're going to week 3 look ahead for our fantasy matchups. Next, finally, let's go over our, let's start off with our NFL matchups.
Yeah, what a great week of let's start off with the Raiders versus Cardinals that went into OT. Jonathan, what did you think about that?
I thought,
oh shit. Here we go again.
Here we go again. The same old fucking Raiders. They give you hope. They were up 20-0 at one point, and the Cardinals came back. Kyler Murray is a bad man. Did you see that play on the 2-point conversion? He was running around. He was scrambling in the backfield for about 20 seconds. He looked like you. Before you tore your ACL versus the Clovis East guys in flag football, he looked like you, dude.
His pocket presence was very similar to mine. I'm not saying it was right there, but he had the same pocket presence I did, and...
Yeah. You looked a lot like you, dude.
Pocket presence! That's all you need right there. That's going to win you the game right there.
Next matchup here is the Ravens versus the Dolphins. This matchup was an absolute shootout. The Ravens scored 38 points. The Dolphins scored 42. I mean, if you had anybody in this matchup, they went off. You had Tua. He scored 59.5 points. We already covered this. Lamar Jackson. He had 318 yards, 119 rushing yards, and 4 titties. 57.8 points. He had 4 titties. Tua had 6 titties.
There was more titties in this game than a fucking strip club. There was just titties everywhere. On top, the Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both went off. I think they both had over 40 points. Just a fantasy dream and titties everywhere. Who doesn't like titties?
Titties everywhere. Titty Tua. Tua, can he keep this up all season long?
Well, I think he can. As long as Tua stays healthy, he's got all the weapons. He's got 2 stud receivers. He's got a good O-line. He has Gesicki, just for shits and gigs in the slot. He's got a good team. Raheem Mostert's solid. He can catch the ball to the backfield, and let's see.
As long as Tua can stay healthy, I think he's got a chance to keep it up all season long. He's a running quarterback. That's what you need in fantasy. Speaking of trying to stay on the field all season long, the Buccaneers wide receivers, they just can't stay on the field. So the Buccaneers played the Saints. The score was 20-10. The score was 20-10. Tom Brady just looked old, Michael. He looked old. He only had 190 yards passing, 1 titty. Is this it for Brady? Did we see the best of Brady in the past?
Cheers to Tom Brady. I don't think so. Tom Brady is playing right now because he knows he can play still. He's having a couple bad games. The season's long. There's 18 games. It's 2 games. I'm not worried about it. He'll be fine this year. Just watch.
2 games. Who's suspended for 1 game is Mike Evans. Mike Evans, did you see that scuffle with him and Marcus Lattimore this week?
I did. I mean, it's just stuff.
This is a second offense. He did the exact same thing a couple of years ago, so he's suspended 1 game. He's not going to make it back. Julio Jones was surprised inactive this week. He got a knee injury. I thought he made it out of week 1 perfectly fine. I thought he looked good week 1. We were just talking about him.
I mean, he's been injury prone the last couple of years. Like he's getting up there in age. He's 30. He's our age.
He's 33.
We all have knee problems,
Yeah, I think this is going to be a season-long problem here for Julio Jones. He's too old. He's too old. He can't do it anymore. So, The next matchup here are the 49ers versus the Seahawks. 49ers scored 27 points. The Seahawks scored 7 points. The Seahawks, I mean, to me, you can't start anybody on this team, really. Like, you can't trust anybody. Even DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf only had 35 yards receiving in back-to-back weeks. With Geno Smith as your quarterback, how can you trust anybody on this offense?
I mean, DK Metcalf's a stud. Lockett's a stud. I think they're going to figure it out. But, on the other hand, the Niners. How about them Niners? My Niners. I was actually at this game. I was watching, when Trey Lance went out, everybody cheered. Jimmy came in, everybody cheered even louder. Just like Andrew Montemayor at a Jonas Brothers concert. It was exact same crowd. It was insane. Everybody's so happy. And Jimmy G came in, took care of biz, won. I think we're going to be better off with Jimmy G. It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, not only did they lose Trey Lance for the season with an ankle injury, they also lost Tyrion Davis-Pierce with a high ankle injury. He's going to be out a couple weeks. And you know what that means? You know what that means? Is that's more work for Jeff Wilson Jr. My name is Jeff. Is gonna be taking over that backfield. He got 18 rushes last week, like 89 yards. I'm totally happy with spending $35 of my FAD money on him. Well spent. I'll do it again. So next, we are going to be talking about the injuries around the NFL. So we already talked about Trey Lance. You know, he's out for the season, man. Now, there's nothing I could do about that. I'm so sad. I lost Dak Prescott last week, and then I lost Trey Lance this week. But moving on, a couple of more injuries that happened around the NFL. James Conner suffered an ankle injury. Not considered serious. He should be fine.
He'll be fine.
Jerry Jeudy exited the game with a rib injury. X-rays showed negative, but he's considered day-to-day.
He's going to be wobbly the whole next few weeks. We'll see how he could bounce back. You know, he's still young. I think he'll come back, be fine.
And Justin Herbert, he exited the game for one play with a rib injury. Turns out he fractured his rib cartilage, but videos show that he was able to return to the game and he threw a touchdown pass. So he's, I think he'll be fine. Okay. I think he'll be fine. So now on to the Revolutionary War. We're gonna cover our fantasy matchups in the Revolutionary War. The first matchup is Bill versus Santi. Bill scored 154 points. Santi scored 117 points. Austin Eckler, I'm telling you, I don't know. He was held in check all the way until the fourth quarter. He really didn't get any of his points until the fourth quarter when they were playing catch up. But the Chargers aren't going to play catch up all the time. He's only averaging 2.6 yards of carries. He's sharing backfield with some guys.
I'd be worried if I had Eckler right now. He's sharing. It's clear day. His role has gone down. He's sharing with Sonny Michel and Josh Kelly. His carries are going down, snaps, everything. Oh. He's on the field as much. I'd be worried right now. Eckler's just a role player. It almost seems like that,
And this is not even forgetting to mention Isaiah Spiller. They drafted a running back in the 4th round. I don't know if you know this. This guy is 6'2", 225 pounds. He's a 3-down back. As soon as he gets acclimated to the playbook, that's going to be some trouble because he's going to split carries for sure. And I'm telling you, I'm worried about Austin Eckler.
That's Derrick Henry size right there. That's about as big as Derrick Henry right there.
Yeah, he's a little smaller, but he's the same general concept.
Yeah, same concept.
So, Bill, talk about Bill's team. You were down on Bill's team, actually, last week.
Good job this week. You had Tyreek Hill went off. Your defense did good. I still think your team isn't very good. You got lucky this week. I mean, good job, though. Good victory. Let's see if you can stay consistent this week. I mean, consistent week in, week out. But I don't think so. I think your team still sucks. Sucks. Speaking about sucks, Taco, you are who we thought you were. You are who we thought you were. You had him, and you let him off the hook. You had him on the ropes. And you let him off the hook. You had Trey Lance who went out in the second series. He had 2 points for Jonathan. Let's be honest, everybody's rooting against John. Nobody wants John to win. If we all want to see him go 0-13, because nobody wants to see Jay win. No one. And you, my friend, you had him. And that's how much your team sucks. You fucking suck. You should just...
He had 2 on the bench, and he decided to start...
You had 2 on the bench. It's time to drop all the Raiders you have and start Tua and rename your damn team.
And Juju Smith-Schuster with 4 points.
Juju Smith-Schuster was on the sidelines making TikToks as your starter.
4 points. You don't get much points for TikToks.
You don't get points for TikToks.
From TikToks to D-Rocks. D-Rock scored 118 points. Vargy over here scored 145 points. I know you really like D-Rock's team this year, but you were the better team this week.
I mean, my team came in here and took care of business, you know. I like Derek still. I have mad respect for your team. I like your team a lot. But, you know, I'm in it to win it. My team's built this year for championship. I have a good team. You know, we're just set for championship.
Let's talk about Joe Burrow for a second. Joe Burrow was your guy. You were sucking his dick pretty much the whole time leading up to the draft. You said he's top 5 quarterback, but with no offensive line for the Bengals, he's getting sacked a league high 13 times in 2 weeks. You know, with 13 sacks, one of those sacks is going to result in an injury. Are you worried about Joe Burrow resulting in a season-long injury? I
am worried about Joe Burrow. That's a big question mark right now. I thought Joe Burrow was going to have I mean, again, it's week 2. Let's not hit the panic button yet. I think Joe Burrow can still turn around. He's still a stud. I think he's a slight edge over Herbie as well.
Speaking of studs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 40.4 points, 9 catches, 116 points, 2 titties.
2 titties.
He carried your team.
I mean, some of my guys have, not as good games as others. We carry each other. We're a team. That's why, we're in it to win it this year. If one guy goes, has a bad game, another guy's going to step up for the other guy. We're a tripod. Everybody,
Speaking of guys not having good weeks, DK Metcalf. He's had back-to-back mediocre weeks. He was drafted to be your wide receiver 2. And he's only gotten 35 receiving yards in back-to-back weeks. Are you considering benching DK Metcalf for guys like Drake London on your bench? Rashad Bateman, are you considering starting any of those guys over DK Metcalf?
I'm not hitting the panic button yet. I know I have 2 stud receivers on the bench, and they have a lot to prove this year to the NFL. But, I'll be fine. DK Metcalf, you're still my guy. I'm still sticking with them.
Speaking of your guy, Matt was your guy. You love Matt's team before the preseason draft. Matt played against Mega.
Mega, with all your distractions you got going on, and your poor quarterback play, congratulations, buddy. You're 2-0. I don't know how. That you know what? Get a shot. This is a shot for Mega. You deserve some put some respect on that name. Put some respect on Mega, because I know he's got all his distractions.
I was one of the biggest shit talkers on Mega's team after the draft, and look at his team, dude. It's better than
the man is 2-0 and Drew's 0-2. I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. Cheers to that. Mega, good job this week, Matt. I still like your team, dude. Your team is very similar to mine. You have a great quarterback. I think you'll be fine. Don't trade away Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That'd be the biggest mistake.
Don't do it.
You're fine this year. Just don't hit the panic button. That's the problem with some of us. We hit the panic button too early, and I've learned that.
Yep.
Just stick with it, Matt. It was just one loss. You overcome this.
So speaking of overcoming losses, Juan lost to Vincent this week. Vincent scored 162 points. Juan scored 140 points, despite having 2 guys that scored over 40 points. He had 2 guys on that list. Juan, a wise man once said, I ain't worried. I love Juan's team. He's going to make a comeback. Dalvin Cook is not going to always score you that low of points. Kyle Pitts, he'll make a comeback. Kyle Pitts will pull his head out of his ass. And your defense isn't always going to score negative 10.5 points every week. That's just unlucky. Brother, you got a good team.
Juan, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You do have a great team. So do you, Vincent. I will see both of you guys in the playoffs. I am certain of that. You guys both have stud quarterbacks, great teams.
Yeah.
This was a good matchup, honestly. Juan, you got unlucky with that defense, with that negative. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen every week.
You guys will both be fine. Like I said, you guys both have quarterbacks that you do not have to babysit that are for sure starters.
Lamar Jackson with 57.8 points this week.
They're both MVP candidates. It's going to be, them two together at the top and see if Tua could, flirt with that,
Yep. So our last matchup of the week, we're going to introduce our alpha of the week. This is going to be our alpha of the week. Is none other than Tony T.
Yeah, welcome Tony. Let's take a shot to Tony.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Tony in the house. Big Tony T. All right. Welcome, Tony. Welcome to our show. It's good to have you here. You beat Drew this week comfortable, good fashion, 164 to 123. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
What did you think of Drew's team this week?
Well, I have one thing to say about Drew's team. Like John just said, a wise man once told me, fuck them. Fuck Drew's team. They suck. Basically, Drew's team is what you guys said. It's like he has us out there playing for him. Like he has John Fernandez at quarterback. They got Michael Vargas at center. Freaking Juan Soto at running back. And Juan Soto thinks he's playing football out there.
Football? He thinks he's playing football.
That's fucking Drew's team out there. They suck. They suck.
They suck. And how did your team do? How did you guys do it?
Well, basically my team, Michael Vargas, my team's all about cock size, I got Kyler Murray out there, that's cock size. I got Javonte Williams, nothing but cock size. Then I got Cooper Kupp, and I've heard, stories about him. His cock size rival Santi, so my team is set to go.
Cooper Kupp does have the ultimate cock.
Yep. My team's good to go.
Speaking of cock size, so you had to really show your cock size this week on the waiver wires this week. Juan Soto showed his cock size with $13 for Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver for the Jets. I regret dropping this guy. I drafted him. I knew he was a stud. He looks like a stud. He has every single attribute you want from a number one wide receiver. I'm gonna regret dropping this guy. Matt, you got some wide receiver help with Sterling Shepard. You scored him for $9, but nobody else placed a bid on him, so you could have got him for $1. But either way, you got your guy. I got my guy, Trevor Lawrence. I did put a bid on Jared Goff.
How much was your bid, Jonathan?
$1. But you bid $5 because I know you just took him from me just to be a dick.
My top receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's his guy. I'm gonna take care of my guys. I know one time you just dropped him. You left him to the curve to die. Yeah. When he got cut from the Rams.
I burned his jersey.
You did burn his jersey. So I couldn't let him go back to you. Fuck that.
All right. Moving on. This is our Week 3 look ahead. We're going to look ahead at our Week 3 matchups. So let's take another... Oh, we're another person.
Let's take a shot.
When did this happen? All right. Tony, we got your matchup. Look ahead. You're playing Vincent. You're projected to have 126. Vincent's projected to have 124. You guys are so evenly matched, it's crazy. You have Cooper Kupp. He has Justin Jefferson. You have Kyler. He has Lamar Jackson. You have Zach Ertz. He's got Dallas Goedert. These guys are basically the same guys, but on different teams. It's basically a coin flip. Do you think you have a chance versus Vincent?
Well, I'm going to say you're right. The teams are very identical, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to cock size. My guys are really cock size heavy. We're good to go, so Vincent's going down.
And that matters in fantasy. That's most important in fantasy.
Speaking of
cock size, Santi. Santi is playing Juan this week. Both these guys are coming off of of disappointing losses. Vargy, who do you like in this matchup?
Juan and Santi?
Yeah.
Juan, you got a good fucking team. I'm sorry, Santi. Herbie's banged up. You know, I know you got a couple other guys banged up. Juan's nice and healthy. He had a tough loss. Again, his defense is just sucked a dick this week, you know?
Yeah.
You got your hands full this week, Santi, but I got Juan this week.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts is going to pull his head out of his ass,
Yeah.
for sure. Next is our Boom Boom Room Game of the Week.
All right, yeah.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it off. Cheers! Game of the week.
Game of the Week. All of us.
Football.
Game of the Week, Drew versus Vargy. Drew, you're projected at 123. Vargy, you're projected at 134. You could go 3-0. Vargy, Drew can go 0-3.
Jonathan, why is this game of the week? Like, why? Drew, you don't have a fucking chance. I got this in the bag. Your team sucks. My team's great. Your team sucks. This shouldn't be a game of the week. There's a lot better matchups than this matchup right here. I got this in the bag.
You know, Drew really does know his team sucks, too.
Yeah,
And on our morning workouts, he told me one time, he said, hey, what's our last place punishment? Because I'm pretty sure I'm in contention for the last piece. So what we never decided on what our last place punishment should be. What should be our last place?
We have not decided that yet, but I want each and one of you, whoever watches this show today, drop a comment. What do you guys think the last place punishment should be for the loser?
Yeah. Drop a comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
And
I subscribed.
there will be more shows coming to you.
Yes, every week we'll be coming to you guys.
We love doing this, guys.
We love it. It's so fun. Thank you guys for viewing. And Michael, let's hear your final thoughts of the week.
Final thoughts. Taco. Just trade everybody. Just fucking remodel your fucking team like you're remodeling a fucking house. Just remodel your fucking team because you fucking suck. And sports, baby! Let's fucking go!
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Chuck. Let's go, baby! Let's go!